Welcome back to A Wire. This is going to be a fun shot clock. As you know, Marshall's out, but that's okay because we've got OA's Adam Zuvanich in the house. Adam, thanks for joining us. What are we going to be talking about today?
Well, we're going to talk a little bit of NBA free agency, a little bit of professional baseball in the great state of Texas, and we're also going to be talking about a little coaching drama in the NBA, which is always good.
That gets me going. Let's start it off.
Hey guys, let's start it off with some NBA. Earlier this week, the Milwaukee Bucks hired Jason Kidd as their head coach, but did it before firing their, at the time, head coach Larry Drew. What do you make of that?
I couldn't believe this when I heard this. You know, who actually hires a head coach before firing their current coach? It makes no sense to me. But then I realized, Adam, this is Jason Kidd we're talking about. This is the same player coach that everywhere he leaves with the team with a sour taste in their mouth, whether it be Dallas, whether it be Phoenix, whether it just be obviously with New Jersey. Listen, this guy, he felt insecure. He just saw two former point guards in Steve Kerr and Derek Fisher get bigger, better contracts than he did. So he went for a power move. Well, guess what? It failed miserably. And lo and behold, he goes and signs with Milwaukee. And how dare he, especially considering that Larry Drew, the guy that got the boot before, imagine how he feels. Larry Drew was his assistant coach when he was a player in New Jersey. Shameless.
Yeah, I don't understand how Jason Kidd is such a hot commodity as a coach. He was a great point guard. No one's going to doubt that. He's been a coach for 1 year, had a decent season, lost in the second round of the playoffs. I don't understand what makes him God's gift to coaching at this point in his life. It's a bizarre deal. I believe the Bucks actually traded for Kidd.
Second rounders.
For the two second-round draft picks. I don't understand that. I'd take a draft pick any day. Jason Kidd, unless he's going to suit up and play point guard, he's not that valuable to your franchise.
Well, you made the playoffs in the East. Big whoop, right?
Yeah, it's a bizarre deal. I don't. It's a pretty big risk. Like I said, giving up 2 draft picks for a coach. I don't know what they expect him to do, but it better be something special.
With those draft picks, better.
Okay, second question. NBA free agents can't sign with teams officially until this Thursday, but do you think Miami's Big Three will remain with the Heat?
The decision, 2014. All of this depends on LeBron James. He's never been the highest paid player on his team throughout his NBA, Adam. The dude's got to get paid. Now, he has money and other assets, but it's all about respect, so he's going to command that. It's up to Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh to take those pay cuts. Wade, you see Tim Duncan and Dirk Nowitzki take these discount prices. Dwayne Wade obviously should have no problems, taking a lesser pay cut. The enigma here, though, for me is Chris Bosh. Why wouldn't this guy, he was underutilized in Miami, it feels like, his whole tenure there. Why wouldn't you want to come back to Texas to either the Mavericks or the Rockets? I don't know. I think if anyone's going to leave, it'll be Bosh. It's so hard to keep 3 players, max players, together in this modern day with the salary cap.
It is, and I think those 3 guys together, the Big Three, had a great run. In 4 years, they've made 4 final appearances, won 2 championships. That's nothing to shake a stick at, no matter who you are, no matter where you play. I think the fact that they've all are opting out of those contracts to explore their options, I think that signals the end. These guys are not going to play together again, at least not in Miami. I think all 3 are still valuable players. I think Dwayne Wade is kind of over the hill at this point in his career. Bosh proved to be a very effective role player, and I think he kind of gets a bad rap. He's a 7-footer, and he likes to hang out by the 3-point line now. But he filled a role. LeBron James is obviously the big prize. He's the best all-around basketball player in the NBA right now, hands down. Whoever lands him is going to get a great basketball player and immediately be a championship contender. Being from Houston, we've got a spot for you in Houston, LeBron. It's going to be nice, warm weather all the time, just like Miami.
Another Big Three.
So come on down.
A younger Big Three. Absolutely, right.
And Carmelo Anthony, he kind of went on his tour, his free agent tour. Carmelo Anthony's a great scorer. I don't think he's that valuable of an all-around basketball.
Will he be an
player.
All-Star in 5 years?
Well, the question is, can he win?
Exactly.
He won at Syracuse single-handedly. His 1 year there, won a college national championship. The college game's different.
He reminds me of Allen Iverson a little bit in that terms. The guy can handle the ball like nobody's business. Great fearless, but at the same time, can he win a championship?
Right. You look at the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, and granted,
glad
Miami
you said that.
Miami won the two. You like the Spurs plug, huh?
I do.
Miami won the two championships, obviously with 3 superstars. You don't see that a lot. The Spurs are a great example where you can have some big-time players, some all-stars, but you got to have the role players. They have to mesh well together. They have to play within a system together. The NBA for a long time has marketed its superstars, its individual players, the high scorers, but when it comes down to it, the teams that are that make the finals, that win the championships, are the teams that play the best team basketball.
Well said, Zuvi.
And finally, with the Texas Rangers playing, let's be honest, terrible these past couple of weeks, do you think the Houston Astros will finish ahead of them in the standings at the end of the season?
This pains me to say this. I'm looking at the standings right now. Currently today, 2 games behind. The Astros are 2 games behind the Rangers, and Houston, they're tied for the worst record. I'm speaking for the Texas Rangers' behalf. I'm just looking at the bevy of injuries, just a plethora dealing with. Let's see here out for the season. Prince Fielder, Matt Harrison, Martin Perez, Zuvanich Soto, Jerickson Profar, Derek Holland. That is quite a list, Adam. You know what? It's time to start rebuilding in my eyes for them. I think they're well out of contention. If you can trade, hear me out here, world. If you can have Adrian Beltre, dangle him, see what he's worth out there. He's a great bat. Not the most expensive, pricey guy there. A good bargain buy. Get some prospects, and you know what? We've got Mr. Double A ball.
Joey Gallo.
Joey Gallo. Thank you for that. Joey Gallo. He's not ready just yet, but given in a year, he could be ready. He could replace the third base bat. What do you think about Houston, though?
Well, the Astros are in a great position, and it's interesting. You mentioned all the losses the Rangers have had. Maybe the biggest one of all, even though he's not a player or a coach, Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan, when he came to the organization as an executive, the Rangers immediately started getting good. They had their best run ever. He goes to the Astros. All of a sudden,
what do you know?
The Rangers start to tank it. The Astros get a little good. Now, granted, the Astros tied for the worst record in baseball. Not a surprise to anyone. They have shown some signs of life. They brought up a lot of good young players.
Oh, yeah.
From John Singleton to George Springer. Brought up another kid, Kike Hernandez, who's off to a great start. And they've got some good young pitching. And the Astros also have a great farm system right now.
One of the best.
They've got a lot of prospects kind of on the way. So, I think the Astros are going to do nothing but get better. And I think they're kind of up and down right now. They're kind of young. But even with the Rangers, it's kind of a bad luck year to have that many guys hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got some good young players coming up, too. We mentioned Gallo. Jerickson Profar is a bright young player. He's been out with an injury. I think for the Rangers, this is kind of just one of those years. I don't see any reason why they can't be better next year. I'm going to go ahead on a limb, though, and say the Astros are going to finish with a better record than the Rangers this year.
Second that.
They're going to finish strong. Like I said, they've got a great young nucleus. It's only going to get better.
True.
Thank you, Adam. Matthew, we'll see you back here next week.
Thank you, Daryl. That's going to do it for us today for Shot Clock at least. Adam, thanks for being on board with us. We appreciate it. And when we get back, we got some more wire coming for you straight ahead.